I'm working on a column this week on because a friend told me about her granddaughter being fat shamed. I don't know if you're familiar with that term, but it's making fun of people who are overweight. And this little 6-year-old girl was fat shamed by another 6-year-old. I couldn't believe it. And the girl who her mom says she's chunky, she now thinks she has no self-worth. It's a heartbreaking story, and apparently it's very common. And I knew that adolescents made fun of each other, but I had trouble accepting that a 6-year-old would say such a mean thing, and also that another 6-year-old would be so humiliated by it and think less of herself. So anyway, it's a story I heard from a friend that I thought has a bigger social aspect than I had anticipated. So I've done some research, and I found someone who recently did a study on this. In fact, out of Oklahoma and Arkansas.
Well, to you, Madam Reporter, I'll simply say that this should not be surprising. Look at the age in which we live. Immediacy and technology are rampant, and children are having them at younger and younger ages, and they, I feel, in part, are cultivating their sense of identity and self-worth based on the ways in which they're able to interact and communicate with others. And as a result of that, they are having a diminished capacity for social interaction and an ability to cope with actual things in a physical environment as opposed to those virtual environments where everything is behind a keyboard or behind a game controller. With respect to the fat shaming, that is very unfortunate. But when did our society take such a drastic turn to where children can't defend themselves? I was bullied as a child to a degree. I'm sure many of us were as people. But we still knew how to defend ourselves. I think because of the immediacy that technology has on this environment in the United States in terms of our social atmosphere, this is par for the course. I mean, we have computers pretty much in the cribs, and kids are able to communicate before speaking with pictures and sign language and other things like that. So I think their sense of identity and self-worth with respect to how they're perceiving things, I feel, and I haven't obviously done any academic studies to verify this, but this is just my speculation, that their self-worth and their perceptions of what they are or are not, I think, is partially hinges on what they're consuming. So where are the parents? Because I generally default to parents being the reasons why children are behaving in the ways in which they are. For this 6-year-old who's being the bully, what are her parents doing to enforce this behavior? What are they doing to stop this behavior? For the girl who has no self-worth, how are the parents behaving with respect to just a general perception that they're giving their daughter inadvertently by their own actions as parents?
Well, you shouldn't be surprised because a child of 6 is a product of their home environment. And if the parents or whomever's the caregiver of that 6-year-old, if they're talking like that in front of the child, then that's how they pick it up. And then the other child that was affected by it, same thing. You know, it's what is discussed, what is modeled in the home, and that is what the child picks up. So that's why she was susceptible to thinking her self-worth was nothing and being fat shamed by the other 6-year-old in her home. Someone was probably talking about fat people and negatively talking about them and modeling what they would say to them, and then they picked up the same thing. And then when she saw the girl the next time, then she proceeded to do just that, shame her, and so you have to watch what you say around developing minds. They model and they learn what they see and hear in their environment, and that's terrible for both children.
Single finger. It is really upsetting. We live in a terrible age where people fat shame, and it's just terrible. You know, 6-year-old kids shouldn't have to worry about this stuff because they're kids. Let them be kids. Quite honestly, I don't think anyone at any age should worry about that stuff. Like, okay, some people are thin, some people are bigger. Some people choose to be bigger, some people choose to get thin. But in any which case, however you become bigger or thicker, whichever, whether you're naturally that way or whether you choose to be that way, there's no need for people to shame you. That's your body. That's how you choose to be, or that's how you are naturally, whichever the case may be. And it's really sad that we live in an age like this, because, you know, someone on this app, it's not just in the sighted community, it's also in the blind community, and it's shameful. It's in every community, but it's really shameful either way. Someone out here posted some question about, then I found out that she was fat. Like, really? Really? It's like, and then they posted, I was just joking around. You don't joke around like that. Especially if you're no oil painting yourself. I can't stand when people make fun of other people being overweight when they're not thin themselves. Like, okay, you don't like the fact that someone you're with is overweight, but yet you're overweight yourself. What sense does that make, first of all? Second of all, what message are you sending to your community when you say things like that? And yes, I'm not afraid to come out here and say that it happens in the blind community as well. And it's even more upsetting and more shameful and more disgusting that it happens in our community. I mean, it's disgusting no matter if it happens between blind people or between sighted people, but it's disgusting when blind people are making fun of other people's weight. Like, okay, you have a disability and you don't like it when other people make fun of the fact that you're blind. So you're going to go around making fun of people because they're fat, or because they're too thin, or because whatever, because this, that, and the other thing. It's just disgusting. And I feel really, really great shame for those people. Because what message are you sending? What message are you sending by doing these things? What message are you sending? I don't get it.
Hello, this is Cass. I have seen some stuff like that going around on social media. The fat shaming thing. It's just really disrespectful. And I also agree with Matthew and everyone else under this thread. I listened to the answers. The kids should not be dealing with this. And yes, they're like sponges. So whatever behavior they see happening at home, they're going to come back and they're going to, reenact their behavior. And they're going to be, demonstrating it on other people and other students. I wish there was a way to keep the kids from doing that, but I think it's something that can't be prevented because it starts from home. And it's just one of those unfortunate situations.